if you are here, I'm assuming that it's because you feel like your English might be holding you back in your presentation skills. You wish you were to present in your mother language, in your mother tongue, instead of another one like English. And you might be feeling that you feel so much smarter and you sound so much smarter in your mother language compared to something like English. Well, if any of that feels familiar to you, I get it, because I've been exactly where you are right now. As a non-native English speaker, working in tech, giving business presentations left and right, I had to work a ton in order to get my English out of the way of my presentation impact and influence. We are working hard. We are expert people. We are career driven. We want to get out there and make our mark. So we don't have the luxury of having English in our way. Language is not supposed to be a limiting factor for us when it comes to making our mark and when it comes to creating the impact that we want in our career. So today in this video, I'm here to tell you that unlike so many things in life, we can change this. Once we learn about the concept of verbal intelligence or linguistic intelligence, which in a simple way means our strength in order to think and communicate in a certain language. Could be our mother language or could be another one. So verbal intelligence is not only applicable in another language like English, but it's actually applicable in our own language as well. Actually, the first time I started increasing my verbal intelligence was in my mother language. I speak Farsi, I speak Persian as my mother language, and at first I had to increase my verbal intelligence there, and then I started doing that in English as I saw a lot of impact. Some of the signs of people who have higher verbal intelligence is that they know a lot of words. They have so many words at their disposal that they can easily pick and choose different ones that will suit the impact and the message they want to communicate. Also, they don't have to think a lot to remember a word. So they don't have to say that thing or this thing or some words that we use in order to describe something that we do not even really know what it is about. So we say this thing, that thing, whatever before even describing it. So these people with the higher verbal intelligence don't have to think a lot about words to remember them. They have more words near their head and near their mouth, and they can easily use and choose between them. They can use it in the right context and they can use it to express different things. And it all comes down to this. People with higher verbal intelligence, they make themselves and their message understood with minimum effort. They don't have to talk a lot to make themselves and the message understood. They talk a little bit like this. They choose words with precision, but it makes the mark. It lands where it lands. And that's where you want to be. That's where we want to be. So if this topic feels near and dear to your heart, I've created a 7-day plan to increase your verbal intelligence in English. You can comment, give me the plan, and I will send it right to you. It has tips, tricks, everything you have to do on a 7-day basis to see exactly what I'm talking about. You will increase your verbal intelligence, but you will see how impactful the exercises will be for you. It's only 15 minutes a day, but you will see the difference. All right, let's get back to it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. When we talk about intelligence, like IQ, EQ, these kind of things, verbal intelligence is also like that. Do we really change it? Can we change it even? Is that something you're born with, or can you really change it? Because we've all seen people who have higher verbal intelligence by nature. They're good with words, they can use a lot of words, they can talk a lot, they can easily use a lot of different ways and words to express themselves and communicate their message. But some of us are not really like that. We have to work harder to get there, which is okay. That's how life is. So simple answer to this question, can we really influence it? Can we change our verbal intelligence? Well, yes, lucky for us, that's possible. If you look at a spectrum of any feature or characteristic in us, being genetics or nature as one end of the spectrum, all the way onto nurture, or basically everything that we acquire over time. It's like our upbringing, everything that our father, mother, everyone in our context and environment has told us. If we think about nature and nurture as two ends of a spectrum of how we acquire or how we have things in us innately or with nurture, this is where verbal intelligence is, which is 30 to 40% genetics and nature. And according to studies, it's 60 to 70% nurture. And when you have a characteristic that you can change by 60 to 70%, it's not like the color of your hair, it's not like the color of your eyes that you cannot really change. When it's influenceable by 60 to 70%, well, yes, you can change it. In fact, a lot of the people who we think have higher verbal intelligence and are good with words, they may have been brought up in environments where their father or their mother were speaking a lot, or people who really read books, or they are dealing with literature, or they maybe watch politicians. That's also part of the nurture. Some of us have not been in such environments, which is okay. We can now design our environment and design exercises to get there for us. But other people had it innately in them. But the good news is that we actually can change it. So that's what we're going to get into. Now, before I talk to you guys about some of the exercises and things that we can do, there's something fundamental that we have to learn about verbal intelligence that sets the stage for us to think about improving it and then maintaining our level of verbal intelligence and understanding the reason why our verbal intelligence for some of us is actually lower than others, which has everything with our brain. In order to understand this, we have to think about two universal laws about our brain. One is called use it or lose it, which means that anything that is not used by us as humans, the brain deems as redundant and starts getting rid of it. Of course, it takes time, but it starts getting rid of it. And that is basically how we have evolved throughout our lives as human beings on this earth. Whatever we do not use is going to get thrown away by our brain. So that was the first rule. The second universal law of the brain is all about survival. So brain innately is trying to preserve our energy levels. So whatever it feels like is unnecessary and something that you do not really use, so use it or lose it, it will start throw it away because it feels like that it's not really important to your survival. Now, why am I bringing all of this neuroscience-y, nerdy stuff into our verbal intelligence and speaking clearly and confidently in English, which is the topic of this channel? Because everything we do has to do with the brain. If we understand the brain, if we know how it works, and understand if we want to have the maximum impact for us and for our audience, that's why understanding about neuroscience and the science of the brain basically important. So now when it comes to verbal intelligence, if we think about use it or lose it, if we have a lot of words in our head that we have learned throughout our life, maybe in school, maybe from our parents, somewhere we have seen or heard or learned it. If we do not use those words, the brain is like, well, this human is not going to use this word, I'm going to throw it away. And that's why when you're looking for it, it doesn't come very naturally to you. And you have to think hard about it because it has changed its state from active to passive. So right now in our brain, we have a lot of words. These are words. We have a lot of words that have become inactive because we're not really using it. Use it or lose it. If you do not use it, you will lose it. So we have lost these. The portion of the words that we are using is just a fraction of everything that we have learned and heard in our lives. So for our brain, it is keeping these for us and getting rid of all the blue ones. Because it's like, well, this human doesn't really need these words. Why should I spend a lot of energy keeping it? Because it's not really helping their survival. Remember the two rules. Use it or lose it. And the other one is all about survival. So that's how we lose our verbal intelligence, because we have learned a lot in our lives, but we are not really using it. We have attached ourselves to using very few words and describing so many different things with just the same words. For example, you probably recognize this. How many times have you described something as interesting, as good, or bad? Something good can be our state of mind. It could be the taste of a pizza, could be the level of a presentation. We describe everything as good, bad, interesting, could be better, could be worse, without really using a lot of words, a lot of descriptive words in order to describe what we are feeling, how we are seeing, what we are talking about. And that is why we are getting more and more lazy in our brain And that is why we are losing the words that we know, as a result, lowering our verbal intelligence, which is detrimental for the impact we want to make, for the influence we want to have, for all the presentations we want to give at work, which will diminish our credibility and authority. So now that you understand the science behind it, I want to tell you about 2 effective ways to increase your verbal intelligence. And remember, if you want to increase your verbal intelligence in English in a 7-day step-by-step, day-by-day plan, comment, give me the plan, and I will send the PDF right to you. There you will have more exercises, everything you have to do on a day-to-day basis with 15 minutes a day in order for you to see a lot of impact when it comes to speaking and presenting in English. Okay, let's talk about these 2 ways that we can increase our verbal intelligence with. The first is what I call the 100 words exercise. It's a great benchmark, and it's the first exercise in my workbook that if you would like to have, comment, give me the plan, and I will send it to you. The first thing you need to do is understanding your benchmark, understanding what is your number from 100. So what I want you to do is take a piece of paper, could be your iPad, could be your laptop, whatever you want, and write the title of your work or anything related to your work. For example, I'm a designer, I'm a service designer, I would write service design. If you're a product manager, if you're a technical manager, if you're a developer, whoever you are, whatever you do, write that on the top of the paper and write for yourselves. In 2 minutes, you have to write 100 words related to that topic. So these words cannot be like the, and, these kind of things. These are very generic. I want you to write words. Think about synonyms, antonyms, things related, close, something very opposite, something different, words that you might be able to use on a day-to-day basis in your job, and you have to have at least 100 of them at your disposal. This is way harder than it might sound. When I did it in my language, I was surprised that my number was 35 in my own language. So imagine how hard this might be for somebody in English. So this will determine your number from 0 to 100. We're going to do this as a benchmark later to examine ourselves and to test ourselves, of course. But the first number is very important to us because it sets the stage and gives us an understanding of how good or how bad is our verbal intelligence. Whatever it is, it's okay, we're going to improve it. The second exercise I want to talk about is called Name What You See, and it could be a game as well. Actually, a lot of these verbal intelligence games or exercises I'm going to give to you, also in the workbook that if you like, you can just comment and I will send it to you, are all games. So it's not like something hard that you have to sit and do and you will suffer through it. No, a lot of it is actually games. And sometimes you also do this when you're a child. When you were a child, you would do these exercises. And that's one of the reasons that, at least according to studies, when you're a child, you have a little bit of a higher verbal intelligence. And you lose it and decrease it once you become more of an adult because you don't really play those games anymore and you start being lazy with your energy and just cling onto whatever works. So in this exercise, I want you to name whatever you see. So let's say that you are driving. Let's say that you go for a walk. Let's say that you're sitting at home. Whatever you see where you turn your head and whenever you look, start naming it. So for me, if I look around right now, I've got curtains, I've got glass, plants, TV, desk, drawer, cushion, couch, plant again. I've got lamp, mirror, candle. Just look around and name whatever you see. This increases your brain's agility and access to more of the words around you. And it signals to your brain that this human is trying to use these words. So please don't go get rid of it. Bring those back and make them active instead of keeping them passive. If you start using these words, then it signals to your brain that you don't want these to be lost. So that's what your brain does. It will not get rid of those words. As a result, you will be able to use it. So these are the 2 exercises I would recommend to you to do: the 100-word exercise as a benchmark and then naming what you see. This is just 15 minutes a day. And remember, if you want to have access to that 7-day, day-by-day plan to increase your verbal intelligence in English, comment, give me the plan, and I will send it right to you. And if you're interested to know how to make a business presentation that lands with your audience on the first try, I recommend watching this video as I go through step by step what you need to think about when you're creating a business presentation. I hope you enjoy and see you in the next one.